I wanted to try something new by taking scenario type questions. And I thank all of you who posted a scenario making this video possible. If a wise guy was dating a woman whose ex-husband got straightened out, would he be obligated by the rules to stop seeing the woman? Or would he wait for the ex-husband to make a beef about the relationship? If a guy's dating a woman and her ex happens to get straightened out, that fact wouldn't matter and he'd continue dating the woman. The ex-husband, who has not a leg to stand on to make a beef, would only be told, was he dating her prior to you getting that thing? Then nothing's changed. Being inducted is not a license to flex authority, especially with pre-existing issues. Attempting to do so will only make you look bad and more than likely cause you a problem. An associate of yours beats up another associate in the same family for insulting you behind your back. A sit-down takes place, and your associate's not a big earner, but the offending associate is. Do you protect your guy, or throw him to the wolves, or chase him from being around you? Also, you know the other side's going to try and lie their way out of it, and they have a money advantage with the higher-ups. I'm protecting my associate 100%. I don't reward loyalty with betrayal. And I couldn't care what lies they tried to spin or how much money the other guy was earning. I'd also push to further hurt the guy bad-mouthing me. Associates happen to cause most of the beefs that go on. The only way an associate would get chased is if he lied. To be successful in a sit-down, you have to know the entire story, the good, bad, and the ugly. This way you're never ambushed with information you're unaware of. Another made guy has it in for you. Seems to be the theme. And starts rumors that you've been bad-mouthing the administration to him, all lies, and now you get sent for. The rumor maker is also present and continues his lies. How do you handle the situation if you're unable to call him a liar? I would address the administration only and show how insignificant this liar is to me. My focus, first and foremost, would be that I'm innocent and that the truth is on my side. I would reiterate the respect that I have for the administration, which in no way equates any reason for me to be bashing them. By purposely ignoring the liar and in no way trying to defend myself, I believe the administration would realize that the rumors were false. However, politics play a major role in that life. If you add one small fact, like the liar being close to an administration member, then it really don't matter what I would have to say or how I would phrase it. I typically wouldn't answer this next question as I practice forward thinking, but for the sake of the video, if you had been promoted to captain, would you have accepted, and who were some of the guys you'd like to have in your crew? When I was a member of that life, I'd accept the captain position. As far as a crew, it's difficult to say now since most of these guys showed their true colors and are exposed. If Paul Castellano received word that Gotti was planning to kill him, who do you think he would have had to kill Gotti and his crew? How do you think they would have went about it? Would Castellano just had Gotti killed or everyone close to him? Would they have used guns, a bomb, or called Gotti in for a sit-down and killed him or hit him on the street? That wouldn't have been Castellano's first rodeo at ordering someone to be killed. Most likely, Gotti would have been called to a meeting and killed with a gun or guns by any of the crews closely aligned to Castellano. They wouldn't have to kill Gotti's whole crew, possibly a few of his top guys, to send a loud and clear message. The remainder would be scattered into different crews. But all of the families during the 70s and 80s gotten sick and tired of taking directives from the commission and decided they were not going to obey them anymore. They could have tried. I believe the outcome would be a few of the main instigators would be taken out to return order and obedience. If Joe Colombo had not been shot and Sonny Francis not framed by the feds, would Francis have ended up as the Colombo family's boss? Obviously, if Joe Colombo was never shot, he still remains the boss of the family. It's possible that over time, Francis could have stepped into a boss position, but who knows? This next one is borderline, but let's go with it. If Vicar Musso started to send frequent messages about what he wanted to happen in the family, would DeSantis listen to him, and how do you think the family would react? As an official boss, a Musso can send all the messages he wants, and I believe Mikey would honor his wishes, to an extent, and so would the rest of the family. If the 5 families merged into one organization, essentially turning into 5 large crews, and shelved all the ineffective and loose-talking members, do you think this would give them a brighter or a more sustainable future? that basically describes the Ndrangheta in Calabria. I believe it makes for a stronger organization. But no matter if divided by 5 families or merged into one big one, the mob's future will be anything but brighter or sustainable. If Anthony Luongo survived his trip to the 19th hole, would a Colombo-style civil war have taken place? Had Luongo for some reason not been killed, Vic and Gas still had positions in the administration and would have most likely plotted against him in other ways or killed him at another time. But they moved quickly and essentially hit him while the iron was hot. If Amuso dies and the current administration is indicted, could the Bronx faction take back control? When Vic passes away, and if the current administration is under indictment, I'm sure they considered this possibility and made arrangements for Brooklyn members to fill the positions and prevent the family's power base from returning back to the Bronx. A smart boss doesn't only think in the moment. In the movie Out for Justice, an associate begins acting in a manner that was detrimental to the family. If an associate acting this way had enough power and a crew, what would a family's response be, both in the 1970s and in the present day? The first thing to keep in mind is, when it comes to power, an associate's power comes from the guy in the crew that he's with. As far as an associate who's considered a headache, in the 1970s, he would be eliminated immediately, and his crew could gather at his wake. That is, if his body was allowed to be discovered. In the present day, they would just put him in timeout. If you were to pick a group of friends to go to war with you against the family, who would you pick and why? Initially, the thought crossed my mind, as one of the first things I did was get a pistol, which I carried around daily. As far as anyone that I considered a friend back then, I didn't want to put them in jeopardy. Before meeting with Joe Cafe, Louis Jett offered to sit in a car up the block with a shotgun from the meeting place. I thanked him and told him no, and went to the meeting alone. Please remember to like this video if you haven't already. And for anyone that wants to show their appreciation for videos like this, or help keep this podcast going, you can do so by the Super Thanks icon down below, or the PayPal Cash App links in the video's description. In all honesty, there was only one person I trusted 1,000% who would have loaded up and been ready to go to war with me. But to the Lucchese family's good fortune, he had already passed away. Johnny Santori was someone that if he liked you, would help you. But if he loved you, he'd go with you to the end of the earth. And God help those who stood in his way. But everything in life, whether you believe it or not, happens for a reason. And for the final scenario, which is on the lighter side, if Johnny Sideburns left the life and rode up to you on a motorcycle with a sidecar, wearing a Rocky and Bullwinkle hat and goggles, would you hop on for a road trip or pass? This scenario isn't as far-fetched as people may think. With that being said, if Sideburns in his disguise ever approached me, I'd send him running in a very strong way. And he knows exactly why.